The 2022 Qatar World Cup is just 24 hours away, and we are here to discuss what could potentially happen in the group stages of the upcoming World Cup. This is Hardik Agrawal, and I'm here with Sundeep Misra, our News 9 sports editor. So, Sundeep, 8 groups, 32 teams. It's certainly going to be a thrilling contest in Middle East this time around. What do you feel?
No, of course, it's going to be thrilling. It's going to be thrilling without the Budweiser beer because that's the headline right now.
Yeah.
But I think once the first day kicks in, once Qatar arrives there, once Ecuador arrives there, once you got the first match moving, I think everything, usually shifts. Every World Cup has its fair share of controversies. Of course, Qatar has more than fair share of controversies. And I guess after a point, the organizers do feel that, so why so much of, the whole negative media surrounding the World Cup?
But there have been things due to which there is bad media at the moment.
Give me a World Cup which hasn't. The last one was in Russia. I mean, where will you take controversies away from Russia? I mean, they all started from the 2012 Olympics to the 16 Olympics and then, went off till the World Cup there. But even that was done with. And you had France winning the World Cup, a great final and all of that. I think that's what's going to happen here by tomorrow. Things are going to quieten down. People are going to go about their business. And what is that business? Of watching a World Cup, of reporting a World Cup, and for the world to actually see the live stream, see live television on a World Cup. This is a once-in-a-year phenomenon. I think everything should quieten down tomorrow.
As LVG said that the training facilities are very good and Qatar is delivering what they promised. So as you are saying that it will quieten down, so it will certainly quieten down because eventually they will deliver what they have promised. So moving on to the groups now. In the group A, we have Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, and Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador,
Qatar, and
the hosts. So the two favorites, out-and-out favorites here are Netherlands and Senegal, AFCON champions and the European heavyweights. But do you think that Qatar being the host can startle everyone here?
No, I was just about to say that you have a lot of courage to say that Netherlands and Senegal are favorites here when you know that the Qatar, the hosts, are there. Hosts will always be a powerful entity, and Qatar has spent a lot of money. A lot of people actually don't know much about the team unless you've been following Asian championships and all of that. But for a lot of teams in Europe, this team is going to come as a surprise. It will not be shocking, honestly. For the whole world, it might be shocking that they're going to probably win 2 in the group. I don't think it's going to shock a lot of people if they win 2. It's a situation which is impossible or looks impossible right now. But I think they should win their first opening game. I think Ecuador is probably 4 places above them or 5 places above them in the world rankings.
Yeah.
The tough ones are Senegal and the toughest one is Netherlands. But I always believe that when a small team, when I say small in terms of, its worldwide coverage and worldwide footprint of Qatar, they will probably play their best match against the Netherlands. And that is going to be a first half match. If Netherlands dominates the first half, then you can crumble them. But this team is going to go out there looking for a draw, looking to play defensive, looking to play all of that can give them that one crucial point. But yes, it will be nice, it will be great if the hosts do a few shocks early on in the tournament, and that will set it up very nicely.
But I'm certain you wouldn't want Senegal to go out. So what would be your pick in Group A?
My pick, the predictable cliched pick here is Netherlands and Senegal. But I would be very, very happy if Qatar can make it through because, the hosts do a lot of things.
Yeah.
The hosts can have their fair share of controversy or probably more than their fair share of controversies. Let's leave that for some other time. But it'll be nice to see Qatar move up because if Qatar moves up, understand Middle East football moves up. If Middle East football moves up, Asian football moves up. So there is a lot of relay situation.
Domino effect.
Yeah, that can really come into Asian football and give it a little bit of a push that it requires.
And how can we not talk about Mane here? Mane won't be in the Senegal team, unfortunately.
It's a big blow. It's a big blow. I mean, for any team to have a player like that, a player who not only controls,
carries the team.
And I say he's virtually kind of a spiritual leader, I know spiritual denotes a lot of other things. But Mane or any other player like a Lionel Messi or a Mane, though Messi is in a very different league out here and he's been performing over and over and over and over again. But Mane is virtually the spiritual leader of a team for Senegal. Not to be without him is a massive blow for the rest of the players also. And also for the coaching staff, because everything revolves around him. Everything, a whole team has been created around Mane. Now you got to recreate it. But I think they anyway have a very solid side and they should be up there winning those 2 games.
Let's see what we have in Group A. But Sundeep's pick is Netherlands and Senegal for Group A. Moving on to Group B now. We have some good teams here. England, Wales, Iran and USA. Some very good headline fixtures here, Sundeep. Which one are you excited about?
Wales, England. I expect Wales to win this match. There are a lot of people who actually believe that England and Qatar are going to meet and Qatar is going to take them out in the knockouts. but those ones are different. Wales is very strong. Wales is very strong. The reason I'm saying it, they're coming in after how many years? 40 years? 50 years?
58.
Okay. Yeah, so they last played 58.
58.
Yeah. They last played 58 and they were knocked out by Brazil, just by the way. And they were knocked out by a man called Pele. He knocked them out. So it's been a long journey for Wales to come through.
And Rob Page has played a significant role in this, certainly.
Absolutely. And you have Bale out there. You have Bale who has a lot to prove. You have Gareth Bale who needs to understand not only himself but for the team and for the entire Welsh population out there is that for beating England is probably one of the highs for Wales football. And the last great Wales player, Ian Rush, who's played for Liverpool and all of that. You do understand that, this is not just a fixture. This is something like a headline fixture out there.
A rivalry.
Yeah. And if Wales can get this through, then they are. Then they go through because I think they'll probably easily, or not easily, but they'll at least get across one more match in this group. England is going to be in a lot of trouble, not only with temperatures, but I think if you really look at the team, they need to gel. They really need to gel. A lot of people have been talking about Harry Kane and all. I don't think so. I think Foden is probably out there who really is going to... Saka and Foden are the 2 players I'm looking out for. I'm not looking out for Harry Kane. The reason being, it's the league. The rest of them are also coming from the league. But if the temperatures are going to affect anyone, then it's England that's going to get affected.
For sure. What about their defense, Sundeep? There are a lot of questions on Maguire. He hasn't got a lot of game time. And will Southgate resort to his old squad, which, yielded him results at Euros, or will he be coming up with something new?
No, I don't think so. I think Southgate is going to stand with Maguire. He has stood with Maguire. He's going to stand with Maguire. And for a lot of critics of Maguire out there, founded, unfounded, a lot of decent criticism has happened over the last 3, 4, 5 months. His club form, his country form. You look at everything. Maguire is also going to be performing here. He, like Gareth Bale in a very different way, has a lot to prove. And this is a stage you get once in 4 years. This is not a stage you get every weekend in the English Premier League.
Right.
So this is somewhere where players who actually, not only the skill part everybody has. That's the reason they're playing a World Cup or the reason that they play out for such big clubs. But this is where your level is increased because you understand the stage. You understand that this is where not only I'm going to make a name, this is where I'm going to leave a permanent legacy for a World Cup, for my nation, for my country. And it's been long since England actually did anything in a World Cup.
56 years to be.
These players have something to prove, not only to themselves, but to a country which has something as big and as popular as the English Premier League. Now that's a big, big pressure.
Yeah, fans will be cheering that it's coming home, but let's see, will it or will it not? Let's move on to Group C. Here we have the favourites, Lionel Messi's Argentina, followed by Poland and Saudi Arabia and Mexico.
Tough group.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, of course, leave the Newcastle connection. Okay, let's leave that out. But overall, they still have a decent English connection now, so they're probably going to be playing well, but you really can't look beyond.
Yeah.
I can't look beyond Mexico.
With Mexico, Poland and Argentina in the
Poland
group.
Still one.
Yeah.
It's a one-man army out there. If he scores, but then he doesn't need to score one,
They're
he
not
needs to
that
score
great
2.
at defense. fallen, to be honest.
So this guy has to score 2 then. Lewandowski has to really be up. He's got to score 2, 3. He's got to do a couple of assists, get the centre forwards moving. He's got to be an inspiring force. Now for one man, that's you already seen he had such massive support in Bayern. Now the moment he's gone to Barcelona, though he's playing, he's not playing to that level that he played with Bayern.
He's not delivering in the Champions League against big sides. That's the reason Barcelona are out.
So will he deliver against Poland?
Yeah, that's what. I really doubt that. That's why I feel that Mexico would be the second one in this group. Like Argentina will certainly top the group because they are coming into this 35 matches unbeaten and Messi's last World Cup. Everyone in the team is, pitching for the World Cup, will be putting their best foot forward. So Argentina, I feel will be on the top, but Mexico on the second.
It will be difficult to dislodge Argentina. It's very difficult. I mean, you can easily pick up the players in this World Cup, whether it's a Neymar, whether it's a Messi. I mean, Neymar we can come to later. Or whether, even if it's a Gareth Bale for Wales, these are all never going to get a World Cup. At least that's what looks now. I mean, Argentina coach says that Messi is going to be there 4 years from now. It's doubtful. Not only because he's apparently lack of injuries right now, but age factor is going to come in and you will see all these 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds who are part of this World Cup really becoming superstars by then.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Pedri, whether it's a Ford, and all of them will be superstars in their own way.
Hitting their peak.
Yeah. So Messi and all will be not only losing in terms of age, they'll also be losing in pace. They'll lose skill. Of course, you don't lose in that sense.
Yeah.
But once you lose pace, then Messi becomes one step slower. So easy to recover, easy to take the ball away. So this is his World Cup. This is the only way he's going to win.
Right, and coming into this after winning Copa America will certainly help them. But your picks from Group C?
Argentina, of course, and Mexico.
Okay, let's move on to Group D now. In Group D, we have defending champions France, Denmark, Australia and Tunisia.
How about Tunisia? France, everybody's ruled them out in a way.
But we can't. Despite the
last 3 World Cups have shown it.
Pogba, Kante.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how far this French team can go. I mean, they're not only... it's very difficult to use a word called aged and, slower legs or you becoming slow. But I think this team is not gelling the way it normally gels. A World Cup might be different for them. A World Cup, they just might come together. But they just seem so less on midfield. They seem so less on firepower. Even they have the great Mbappe. But Mbappe seems to be in a different world. He seems to be embroiled with something else, not what he was in the last World Cup.
Not as focused.
Yeah, you see what he did in the last World Cup. You see how he played that final.
Not as many tantrums.
He was what, 18, 19 at that time? So he was young. He was like as Diego Maradona said, like, this is a revelation, I don't know whether he's going to be a revelation here or not. But it's an easy pick in the group. France on form or not on form, on just pure reputation should go through.
Yeah.
The rest are very difficult. Australia.
And we also can't discount Denmark. They have performed well in the Euros.
In fact, I think I read somewhere where somebody said that Denmark is one of the favorites to go into the semi-finals. But you just can't build a team around just one guy. So Denmark should be number 2 and the rest should fall off the cliff.
So France and Denmark in Group D. Moving on to Group E now. In Group E, we have the European heavyweights, Spain, then followed by Germany, and we have Japan in this group and Costa Rica.
Costa Rica has always been a surprise. They have a few quarterfinals. They have been in the round of 16.
Yeah.
But Spain and Germany are an easy pick here. Germany are putting their stuff together. I still wonder how Müller is still around, still playing, and you just might see him end up with 3 or 4
But it's a team
goals.
in transition, certainly.
It's a team in transition, absolutely, and it's a team in transition in a way that for them, this particular group shouldn't be looking too difficult. You will be having scorelines of 1-0, 2-1 in this particular group. Spain is going to get... Spain is a slow starter. They have always done that. But I don't know how they gain pace as they slowly move up. They'll crank it up. They have a fantastic midfield out there.
Yeah.
So for
Pedri.
them... Oh yeah. I mean, what he showed in the Euros, if he plays even 10% more, and he should be, because the Euros was what, 2 years back?
Yeah, 1.5.
What he played in the final, even though they lost, and what he played in the semis has been mind-boggling. So
Seriously.
yeah, even with guys like Lineker saying that, you know, this guy is not from this planet. He plays a very different kind of football. So
He's already being compared to the great Iniesta.
now that's saying it probably.
Yeah.
You know, for most coaches. Now, even if he adds 10% to his tally in terms of levels, he will single-handedly take them, because he grabs the ball and that's it. I mean, for a guy whose passing percentages are 80%, 90% and all on target, I mean, only a team can benefit. A team never loses from those kind of situations. So it's an easy pick. I mean, you got Spain, Germany going through, and should be easy for them.
Does the forwards need to be more clinical in the final third for Spain?
Well, they have two nice teams to hit back and, you know, get their form in Tunisia and the US. So
moving on to Group Group F. In Group F, we have Belgium, Canada, Morocco and Croatia, the runner-up of last time. Here, we have Belgium, golden generation. But will the golden generation be able to deliver now? They are way past their prime, but can they still deliver?
Martinez says yes, that they can.
He has to.
But Lukaku is not in form. Hazard still finding his way back or whatever, you know. But it won't be a surprise if they lose. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, Belgium has a very strong core. They have a very strong feel of the last two World Cups. They understand what needs to be done. You might feel that they probably get knocked out once they reach the round of 16. They might get knocked out in the quarterfinals because they just don't have that team that can carry them through.
Yeah.
But here, it should not be a problem for them. I mean, they have enough ammunition in that tank of theirs to be able to put across the rest of them. Croatia is going to be a problem. Croatia doesn't look like that team again. Modric has slowed down. He's not been playing well for Real Madrid, even though he comes up with some amazing passes. But in the last 6-7 games of what one has seen of Luka, it's not there.
As good as he was last season.
Even in the last World Cup.
Yeah.
He was the guy who was carrying them.
Yeah.
He was all over the place. He was the general in that team. To do that same job here after 4 years is going to be a massive issue. I don't think so. I won't be shocked if they go back home.
It will be pretty tough, yeah.
Who the rest of
Can
the
they go back home in the group stage itself, because Canada and Morocco are good teams?
Morocco can beat them.
Yeah.
And believe me, Canada can beat them. Canada has been in very decent form, if not top form.
Yeah.
They have very decent players. They have players who have a reputation. They have players who
they are
have
being
experience.
managed by Herdman.
Yeah. So you just might see Croatia go home out here. Belgium may not.
Okay, so but out and out favorites here, Belgium and Croatia.
Yeah.
Belgium and Croatia from Group F it is. Then moving on to Group G, here we have Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland and Cameroon. So let's talk about Brazil here.
Well, before you start talking of Brazil, the pick will be Cameroon and Brazil. I don't see Switzerland going through, honestly.
Yeah.
Cameroon.
They have been in the knockout stages in the last 5 World Cups, but it seems difficult here in this group.
In Qatar, Switzerland will find it difficult. Cameroon won't find it difficult. And
temperature.
It's just not about the temperatures. It's also about feel of the sun. You know, the climate, as we once was talking about, how climate defines football. I think for Switzerland, it's going to be, for a lot of teams, it's going to be a defining factor. It may not be a defining factor for the big ones. Even England probably may not be defined by it, at least in the group stages. Later on, they might be, because it's going to be tiring. But initially, teams like Switzerland are going to really find it difficult here. They will be lucky to go through. Brazil shouldn't be a problem. I mean, like, you bring in any of those guys, how do you lose a match? Is what you want to understand. And they can keep They can keep Neymar, I mean, away from the group stages, bring him on for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 15 minutes and still win and still go.
Yeah.
You know, for them, winning is 1-0, 2-0, and they need to keep that power going for knockouts and for quarters and the semi-finals. I mean, we've already made them reach the semis, but still, I mean, for almost half this country, India, which is like, you know, a Brazil fan or an Argentina fan, Brazil should be there, Argentina should be there, and
there.
there should be a great semi-final or a great final. But we are talking too early. From this group, Brazil will go through.
Brazil. And I feel Serbia can startle everyone here because Serbia, they created issues for Portugal. Serbia and Portugal were in the same group in the qualifiers, and Serbia topped that group. Portugal came second. Then Portugal had to win the final qualifiers against North Macedonia, and then they finally qualified for the World Cup. So Serbia has Vlahovic, Arfalams, Alexander Mitrovic. So these players can deliver for Serbia.
But can they deliver against Cameroon?
Yeah, Cameroon, Abu Bakr and all.
Yeah, that's a very solid side. It's a side that may not look flamboyant. The side may not be very well known in terms of European legacies and all of that. But it's a side that can carve out 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, 1-1, that kind of a side. And those sides are a huge problem or a huge nuisance in a World Cup. Especially in this group. Except for Brazil, I think the rest of them are going to be very close.
Let's go with Brazil and Cameroon and Group
my
G.
pick is Cameroon and Brazil.
Brazil and Cameroon. From Group G, let's move on to the last group, Group H. In Group H, we have Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal, Ghana, Luis Suarez, Uruguay, and finally, Son Heung-min's South Korea.
You can keep South Korea at number 4. And you have to keep Portugal at number 1 because I think, I don't know about Ronaldo. I think there's a lot being written. There's also a lot being written that whether it's affecting Portugal or not. I don't buy the argument that it's going to affect Portugal. I don't think so. In this team, including the coach, including Portugal fans, everybody knows, understands Ronaldo. Everybody knows the eccentricity of that guy. But at the same time, everybody knows the brilliance of Ronaldo. Everybody knows that when it comes to that, when it comes that it's a 1-1 and you need a match winner, they're not going to put Bruno up front. They will find deliverance in Cristiano Ronaldo. Now that faith, you don't find in many players. You may find in a couple of other teams. You may find a Pedri here or a Brazilian forward out there or a Messi out there. But Ronaldo is a man for all seasons.
Monster mentality.
He will be there and you can see it in his face, you can see it in his walk. He is not repentant about what he's done in that interview. Not that we are here to judge him on that interview. Now those judgments can be passed by the media and by the fans of Man United or whatever. But this is a guy who will take Portugal. It will be a massive shock if Portugal doesn't go beyond the group stage. I don't see that happening. I see them topping. So for a lot of fans of Ronaldo, and even they are not the fans, that whole romantic tale about him coming good and all of that after all what has happened will be probably the biggest story of the group stages. So if he scores and he takes the team in, superb.
Yeah, if he can deliver here, it will certainly help in his club career as well, because as we are hearing that United are putting forward a case to sack him, then he would certainly need a new club in January, and this is his best chance to prove that he can deliver at the big stage at the age of 37 as well. But what about Uruguay and Ghana?
Ghana will go through, not Uruguay. I mean, the moment you said age, you have to bring it down to Uruguay.
Yeah.
Whether they are willing, not willing, but are they willing to run that, extra mile to get across the group? The class is there. There's no way that you can't say that Cavani and all these guys.
They have Valverde as well.
So they have the class. They have the skill, they have the class. They have the legacy, they have the reputations, they have everything out there. But whether they can deliver in those 90 minutes against a team like Ghana is a very difficult question. I still will put Ghana up there to go through, and I still will probably see Uruguay go back home. So you have Portugal, you have Ghana, who are the top in this particular group.
Interesting. From the final group, we have Portugal and Ghana as our picks. That's about it. That's it from the group stages. We'll be back with more insights, facts and figures from the World Cup. Stay tuned, stay connected, like this video if you like this piece of information, and don't forget to subscribe. This is Hardik Agrawal signing off.